Good evening. I'd like to call the June 6th meeting of the Ashland Board of Health to order. The first thing on the agenda is citizen participation. Do I have anybody? Can the Zoom people hear? Oh.
Yes, they can.
Okay, it went away.
Justin, did you unmute the Zoom?
I think we're good to go. Okay. All right. Well, the next thing on the agenda is we were supposed to be introduced to our new board member, David Kinsman, but he's unable to join us tonight. So the next thing on the agenda is the Mary Mortensen 6th Annual Public Health Award presentation, and the recipient this year is Marie Kane. Yay. Michael, do you want to go first?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, members of the Board of Health. Thank you, Mrs. Kane, for being you. Wow, I haven't seen this room this filled in such a long time. It's definitely been before the pandemic, and it's all to honor you. So I can't think of a more deserving way to fill this room than to honor your work, Mrs. Kane. Tonight, we are here to celebrate and honor Marie Kane for being the recipient of the Mary Mortensen Health Award. Since her son Kevin was diagnosed with cancer almost 30 years ago, Marie and her late husband Bernie worked tirelessly to bring awareness to the toxic consequences of the Nyanza chemical plant here in Ashland. Through the Kane's efforts, a scientifically confirmed deeper link was found between Nyanza and cancer cases throughout the town, leading to further cleanup of the area. I had first met Marie during my initial months as town manager as a controversial development project was both proposed and permitted next to the Nyanza cap. Those were fun times, right, everybody? I was always impressed with her passionate but respectful advocacy to ensure that anything that was done in that area was done safely, which led to positive changes in both the design and other aspects of that project. Mrs. Kane and the group that she helped found, the Ashland Citizens Action Committee, worked with town officials to realize that there was still more work that needed to be done around the Nyanza site, which is the source point for the groundwater contamination that we still deal with today. She was an integral part of the efforts to get the Environmental Protection Agency to develop a plan to treat that groundwater contamination, which was recently funded by the EPA at $20 million. And while it will take a long time to completely clean up, we know that this first step is taken and that the major hurdle of funding has been overcome. Notably, EPA's announcement and work occurs in 2023, which will mark the 25th anniversary of her son Kevin's passing. Mrs. Kane reminds me so much of the late Mary Mortensen, which is why I was so privileged to nominate her for this award. Both had the community's well-being both at the top of their mind and deep in their heart. Their efforts were mostly done in the background, without fame or recognition. Yet they were some of the most effective advocates for the things that they believed in. Their sincere humility was one of their greatest strengths, and I know Mary would be proud of the work Mrs. Kane has done in the community. To put things succinctly, Mrs. Kane is deserving of this award because she is the definition of effective advocacy, persistence, and determination. And undoubtedly, her efforts over the last 25 years have made Ashland a safer and healthier place for all. So thank you, Mrs. Kane.
We go way back to the St. Bridget's days when I was the assistant safety officer, and I used to pull unannounced fire drills and lockdown drills on them. We did. Oh, God. Do I have the mic? Or I can turn it around for you. Okay, perfect. So Marie, this is the Board of Health proclamation. whereas the Ashland Board of Health, in honor of our longtime Board of Health member Mary Penny Mortensen, has established an annual award in her name, and whereas the Ashland Board of Health presents the Mary Mortensen Public Health Award annually to a deserving community member or organization by nomination and a vote of the board. And whereas Marie Kane and her late husband, Bernie Kane, the devoted parents of Kevin Kane, an extraordinary young man whose courage and perseverance to seek the truth led to the confirmation of a deeper link between the Nyanza chemical plant and cancer cases throughout the town. And whereas Marie Kane, together with the Ashland Citizens Action Committee, passionately advocated to bring awareness to the toxic consequences of Nyanza chemical plant and worked tirelessly to ensure the safety of development projects proposed in the area of the Nyanza site. And whereas Marie Kane has been an integral part of the efforts to get the Environmental Protection Agency to develop a plan to treat the groundwater contamination, the recent announcement of the EPA funding for Nyanza means the assurance of cleaner water and soil, making Ashland a safer and healthier place for all, and fulfilling the promise made to Kevin. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Health for the town of Ashland, do hereby recognize and honor Marie Kane as this year's recipient of the Mary Mortensen Public Health Award. We urge all residents to make known their appreciation for Marie Kane's devotion to the town of Ashland. We wish her good health and good fortune.
This will only take 2 minutes, everybody. Good evening to everyone. First of all, let me thank Michael Herbert for nominating me to this most prestigious award, and to the Board of Health for unanimously agreeing with it. Thank you so much. Although I'm extremely proud and happy to have received this award, I feel as though it really belongs to my son, Kevin. But I gladly accept it in his name. During the 11 months of his illness, Kevin believed that his extremely rare cancer, which had been diagnosed in 1997, was caused by Nyanza, the toxic waste site in our town. He worked tirelessly to convene a group of people, headed by Suzanne Condon, at that time the Assistant Commissioner of Health in Boston. Following an 8-year study, which concluded in 2006, it was determined beyond a doubt that Nyanza had been the cause of his death and the death of so many others. And so many others. Sadly, Kevin never got to see the fruits of his labor. So here's to Kevin. He didn't die in vain. As it takes a village to raise a child, it took a village to complete the work begun so long ago. I will be remiss, however, if I do not mention two very important people. That would be Kara Tyrrell and Danny Burrell. Kara, will you stand, please? Danny is not here, sadly, but I'll get to him. Without their untiring efforts over the years, I would not be standing here receiving this recognition. It belongs to them as well. And for Bernie, my husband, who would love to be here this evening, but I know he's in heaven with our son, cheering us on. There is one other individual, Michael Henry, who most of you may not know, who is responsible for our website, which chronicles the events that have occurred over the past 25 years. For anyone interested in further history, please check out our website at www.kevinkaneslegacy.com. Our memorial garden, located on Memorial Drive, is currently undergoing more work. Work that has been delayed for many reasons, COVID being one of them. The goal for completion will be later this summer. People impacted by Nyanza poses a oh, yeah, sure. People impacted by Nyanza, the garden will become a place to visit and remember those folks lost to cancer as a result of Nyanza, and a place for healing, contemplation, and prayer for all people. I urge everyone to go to the website for further information. And to everyone, I would like to extend my thanks for all that you have done to make this day so special for me. I said a prayer for you today. I know God must have heard. I felt the answer in my heart, although he spoke no word. I didn't ask for wealth or fame. I knew you wouldn't mind. I asked that he send blessings of a far more lasting kind. I asked that he be near you at the start of each new day, to grant you health and blessings and friends to guide your way. I asked for happiness for you in all things, great and small. But it was for his loving care I prayed the most of all. Thank you all.
Sits outside the Board of Health office, and Marie's name's already been added to it, so we'll go up there tonight. Oh, anybody else? Would anybody else like to say anything? Don't stop.
So this recognition is emotional for me as well. My name is Diane Mortensen, who, those of you who don't know me, my husband Ron and I are here, and my sister-in-law Susan and her husband are watching virtually. My mother-in-law obviously meant a lot to us. She did a lot for this community, and she would be deeply honored. We both worked with Marie for many years in regards to the Nyanza project, and I'm very happy that you are the recipient this year. Thank you very much, and thank you to the board for continuing to do this. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yes, Arthur Sony. Very, very prestigious and honor to have Marie be a recipient. She's basically the twin of Mary herself. How well she has carried her family is a proud Kane legacy with the bumps in the road that happens together. Recently, me and Mrs. Kane, Marie, we shared a hug recently at my house because she was delivering Meals on Wheels, and then I have her come into the house to see my dad. Family to family is what this award actually means to me. Family to family, and understand that the Canes is a family friend of the DeSonis for years on before. And yes, during the tragic years with Tim's death on Nyanza, I myself got closer to the family to respect and understand what a death means in the family that could have been preventable, but also understanding that it's something that is a legacy now. So through Mark DeSone's heart, DeSone's family heart, to the Kane family heart, to Marie, it is worth this award to carry on. And I shared that Mary Mortensen and myself and my mom, oh, excuse me for taking my face off there, and appreciate, because through the two, Mary herself and Marie, my mom, would have been proud to carry on the female strengths of what they have together. And this town is feeling strong with the family traits that both the Canes, Mortensons, and the Sonys can understand and be proud to have, proud to know. And to the Kay and Marie herself, their hug still extends endlessly to you. Thank you.
Get choked up at these things, but I am familiar with these microphones. I get to see them all the time. Marie, you're the hero of this town, and your husband was as well, and your whole family for what you went through and what you've done for Ashland, especially for recognizing, unfortunately, an unfortunate circumstance for many family members, and I'm glad to hear about the memorial. And I just wanted to say I'm very happy to see you on a plaque of someone else I also knew, Mary Mortensen, who in my view was a great nurse, just like you. So with that said, I just wanted to congratulate you and your family for your crusade through one of probably the worst things a family can go through. Thank you.
So we're going to take a break now, so everyone can kind of talk to Marie, and then we'll start back up in about 10, 15 minutes. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to continue our meeting of the June 6th meeting of the Ashland Board of Health. The next thing on the agenda is the reorganization of the board. Since we don't have a full board, we're going to table that till our next meeting. The next thing is the board member committee assignments. That's also going to be tabled till our next meeting. The next item is the discussion of the open Board of Health seat. Raj, do you want to talk about that?
So, sir, yes, that we have that for the select board discussion, like the select board is discussing it tomorrow in their meeting too. And we're gonna post the job, it need to be posted for 10 days in the tabloid downstairs, And what conversation we have with the downstairs office, they said, probably the next meeting, the Board of Health meeting, we're gonna do the selection of the candidate, So we'll be posting it most probably shortly after tomorrow, and then the selection will be on the 20th June meeting that Board of Health have, But we'll keep the board posted, if there are any changes or if they wanna do it at the select board meeting or our meeting. But it's gonna be a joint appointment by the select board and the Board of Health.
Okay. And that's for Bernadette's seat, correct?
That is correct.
Right. And when does her term expire?
So it's next year,
Okay.
May next year. So
So
it's
it's 1
gonna
year.
be 1 year
Okay.
position.
1 year, and then that person would run for an open seat.
That is correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
If she wants.
if they want to, yeah. So the next thing is, Jay, you're next for the remote area medical update, and I think you have to put your mic on. There you go.
Yep, so we are still short of our fundraising goal. Still, I hope to hear within a week or so from Eastern Bank if they're gonna, because they're the largest contributor. So fingers crossed, they say it's in process, it's been in process for a while. And I'll let everybody know when I hear from them. As far as volunteers, the volunteer numbers are increasing slowly. According to RAM, which we met with early last week, we're on track for volunteers. So I think we've got all of dentistry filled. We definitely have all of medical, in this, at least for medical providers. We need nurses. But on the medical floor, we have, doctors and nurse practitioners. And I think that we need a handful of optometrists, so I'm going to start working on that. If anybody knows any optometrists or ophthalmologists and you want to ask them if they want to help for 1 or 2 days at the clinic, definitely ask them. And if they need any information, they can contact me.
Jay, I did reach out to someone I know who's making some calls. He's an optometrist.
Excellent,
So,
excellent. Yeah, okay, I remember you
Yeah.
mentioning that.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ed. And I think that probably the most progress that we've made has been in terms of the vaccine clinic. And if you want to just talk about that a little bit, Ed, since you're kind of running it with the Latino Health Insurance Program, vaccine clinic and health insurance sign-up, which will be going on simultaneously at the Loring Arena.
Yeah, so we were able to secure a big conference room at Loring Arena the same day of the 2 days of the RAM clinic, and we're working with Milagros to what we're going to do. The plan is 9 to 3. I think we decided on the time, and what we're going to do is we're going to have the childhood vaccines for the 2 days, gear that at the same and what we're going to do is we're going to put information out hopefully by next week before school ends to all the superintendents in all the towns and the school nurse leaders of those districts to let them know. That way, if there's a lot of kids that we know at the beginning of each school year can't get into school because they don't have their vaccines. So hopefully this will solve part of that problem for a lot of people. We are going to use the color system, the same thing that we used during COVID, so that people they'll be able to register online, come in and get their vaccines. Once they get them, it's automatically uploaded into color. Therefore, the school nurses will know, they'll be able to just log in and see that those vaccines are done.
Are you going to be asking for volunteers to help with the vaccinations?
Yes. So, yeah, we definitely need nurses to help with the vaccine, and we also need non-licensed people to help, like, with the registration.
Okay.
And only thing I want to add is we definitely want to get some interpreters there, because a lot of the folks who are under vaccinated, non-English speaking, so that what we see in our clinics downstairs, that's a bigger challenge, So to get them registered, like we probably have to coordinate this much way before, so. And the other thing is, like, if we open the clinic to everybody, right, there are going to be a lot of people coming through. The demand still for childhood vaccine clinic in Metro West area is huge,
Right.
So we just have to plan, like as Mr. Berman is saying, we have to get going and make sure, we have vaccines for all those kids who can come in, so.
Right.
Right. Well, and they're going to order all the vaccine, which was good. And then I believe they were going to use color to try to gauge the numbers of vaccines that they're going to actually need to get from the state.
And that's the Latino Health Insurance
Right.
Program.
Sure. Yeah. And then we will have backup vaccine in with our stocks too. We can share in case
We can transfer.
We can transfer some vaccines, and we'll probably load up our inventory also, before the clinic. So we have some good chunk of vaccines with us, so in case emergency needed, we'll be able to bring our vaccines there,
Yeah, and I know I probably sound like a broken record because I feel like I keep saying this, but the vaccine clinic is completely separate from RAM, even though it's happening right next door. RAM is the RAM clinic where we overlap, whether that is in sending folks over to the clinic or you guys sending people over to the RAM clinic. That's where we should probably talk as we get closer to that, just in terms of logistics. Even things like parking lot, like making sure people who are parked at Keefe Tech actually get back in their car, drive over to Loring so they free up a spot.
Right.
Just stuff like that. And I guess as like I said, as we get closer, we can talk about what that would look like. So yeah, I think it's all good.
That it?
Yep.
Okay, next is your report, Raj.
Thank you, sir. So we're still going strong with the childhood vaccine clinic. We have one planned for tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, like there's still a huge need, and we're trying to accommodate whatever kids we can at this point, Framingham have hired a full-time public health nurse at this point, so that's going to be beneficial. And as we have more hours now, we're going to be hiring another nurse in Ashland as well, so we can bridge those gaps, With the COVID clinic, we had one 2 weeks back with Pine Hill Pharmacy. We had both Moderna and Pfizer, but we had only 3 people turn up, so that kind of very low demand right now, so we have still some vaccines for COVID in hand, and we'll put a clinic together as the demand comes, so The Central Mass Mosquito Control Program, the spraying is going on, June 12th, 20th, and 26th for this month, they're going to be spraying. These dates are tentative, just weather dependent, if there is too much weather-related activity, they might change it. So it's available at cmmcp.org, if anybody want to look, There is a cyanobacteria activity at Lake Washoukum, there was an advisory from the state because of that. We did send out a informational flyer a couple of weeks back. As mentioned in our last meeting, we was sending out flyers to the neighborhood, both Framingham side and Ashland side. Framingham did their side, we did Ashland side. We sent them flyers on how to prevent this, how to maintain their septics and all that. And we send that in English, Spanish, and Portuguese, and the advisory is also posted in all three languages at the lake. And we'll keep the public posted as soon as the advisory is lifted. Chestnut Plate Apartments, we had two difficult big cases going on here. One was a bad housing. That we are getting very little response from the management. I did talk to the assistant manager there last week, that she have resigned, and the main manager is out on a medical situation right now, But both difficult cases. There is one case, whether like roach infestation. There is a kid living at the property who's immunocompromised. I did get a call from Dana-Farber Institute where he's getting his treatment, that they're concerned with the situation, So I'm going to reach out to the management again tomorrow to get updates. I know the treatment was done, but we have very less response from the management, So,
Is that how you found out the hospital called?
No, actually the father called us, regarding the infestation, but what we was able to do for them, we went on for the inspection the same day that we got the call, given the situation, and I guess the next day the order letter was sent, They did do the treatment. That's a good part, but we don't have the documentation that we needed. We usually ask for the pest control report to see what their recommendations are and stuff. So that we have not gotten yet.
Yep.
137 Pond Street, still no action. We did get a quote again from the younger brother, Mr. George Nasios. This was like a month back. He gave us some quotations, to do the repair at the property. The quotations was worth like $28,000 that myself, building commissioner, and everybody on the team feel is very less, or insufficient to make the repairs at the property, Mr. Nasios' younger brother, right, he was here today also at the department, He wanted me to speak with the DMH manager, Mr. Peter, who was working on the case. I did speak with him, so still kind of working on the case, Farmers market starting this weekend, on Saturday. We got the number of permits we got. We have processed all of them, and Tom will be there to do the inspections and give them the permits. Pools and camps, we have 2 camps application, and we have actually 3 pools in the town, one at Ceres, one in Lanterns, both are approved, but we have not gotten an application yet from Chestnut Hill Place, so they had some issues with the pool last year, but they have not applied for the permit yet, so. Metro West Tobacco Control Collaborative Grant. We got the extension of this grant for another 2 years. Now this grant is run by Framingham. We got about of $250,000 for all the communities in the Tobacco Collaborative, and we have another extension possible extension for 3 years after 2 years. And I just want to add on, it's not here because we did get a $20,000 grant for our nursing program, the childhood vaccine clinic from the foundation, Metro West Health Foundation. That is approved now. So we'll be able to do more stuff with the vaccine clinic. decisions at every turn. They have a meeting scheduled on 13th June. If any of the board members can attend it, we will send you the link. I guess it was sent by Laura, right, Laura? Yes. But we can send it back. If you can attend that, please, that'll be helpful. And I'm open for any questions.
Question for you, I kind of unrelated to this, but I was thinking 137 Pond Street. Are they close to filling Jennifer Wolfing's position?
Dr. J, to my understanding, the town have tweaked the position a little bit, but yes, the position was posted, so, but I can get you an update. I will check with the HR office where we are on that, so. But Courtney, who was like in Jennifer Wolfing's office, she's covering for her right now, like her meetings, with the hoarding task force and all that. She's handling it. So. But I'll get you an update on where we are on the process.
Just curious.
Please.
Anybody else? Okay. So the next thing on the thing is to review and approve the consent agenda. Oh, actually, no, we have the draft meeting minutes of May 7th need to be approved, correct, Laura?
Consent agenda.
Consent agenda. So do I have a motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next thing is the review of the year-to-date budget.
That is two others.
Oh, that was part of it? Okay, all right. Geez, I think that was it. Wow. That was kind of it, right? Anybody have anything new business or anything?
So just the future agenda items, right? So
Yeah.
June 20th, the next meeting, and is the board want to do one meeting in July and August? I guess that's what it is, Laura, right? So we can decide that on June 20th, so.
Okay,
And then there'll be a joint meeting.
Right.
with the select board, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
To fill the position.
That is
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
So what I have gotten so far, as I mentioned earlier, they might be coming to our meeting, or we have to go to their meeting, one or the other, but
Yep,
I guess it was preferably, I guess they said 20th,
yeah,
so.
but
Okay.
we'll still meet on the 20th.
That
of
is
June,
correct,
No
but-
matter what, yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, sounds good.
all right. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn at 6:55.
And I'll second that. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.